And here we are with a wonderful novel moment. I'm Monica. I am here to assist you on your journey that you are working towards to fit those goals. As you can see, I set my tone for the stage, for my sessions, and I encourage you all to do the same thing, to surround yourself with things that makes you feel good, what makes you feel empowered, makes you want to get focused and want to get intentional. Today, remember to take your time, grab all the essential items that you would need, like your blocks, your mats, your blankets for your knees and therefore. And remember to take your time and have a good time. And remember, this is your practice, so don't be rushing yourselves. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to come to our mat and we're going to come crisscross apple sauce as you sit. So when you start sitting, you want to make sure you have a nice straight spine, shoulders pushed back away from your ears, core is engaging as well. You want to inhale through the nose. Points to remember is posted, so just be sure to breathe, inhale, exhale. Then from the hips, release shoulders from ears and root your feet to your mat. This is a great time to set those intentions. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling. Bring the arms up overhead. Bring your palms to come touch. Then you exhale as you bring the arms coming down to feet. Wonderful. Okay, so set those intentions. Get ready for a great workout. Whether it be more strength, flexibility, range of motion, go ahead and set that for yourself. Wonderful. So we're going to come into a tabletop position and we're going to do a basic prep warm-up before we do our warm-up. And how we're going to do that is we're going to come to a child's pose, bringing our arms up over our head, glutes come back towards our heels of our feet, chest coming down towards the mat. And you just want to take some deep inhales and exhales here as well, and just allow the body to just, soak in, right? Because we are working some arms. Coming up, you're going to curl those toes to push up into a nice downward dog. Heels come back towards your mat, towards the heels. Hips nice and square, pushing through the palms. Right glazing towards your belly button. And just here for a couple of breaths, right? We're going to come back down to that child's pose. And we're going to make this a motion. I don't really remember how many times because I am doing a voiceover this go around. So yeah, back up into that nice downward dog. Heels come back towards the mat. And my arms may be cut out some throughout the video. However, bear with me as I'm learning and adjusting the angle and shapes of the videos. Right, so here we're just continuing to do the nice prep warm-up. Now, this is something that I recently started doing a little to just prep myself before I go into the big warm-up stretch. Back down, hips come back towards the heels of your feet. We're going to press those palms down onto the mat as well for that extra resistance. Right? Nice. We're going to bring that foot up to come up into a lunge. You want to ensure that that bending knee is aligning with that ankle and that opposite leg is stretched back, allowing that heel to come back towards the mat. Hips is nice and square and core is still engaged. We're going to bring our palms down to the mat. Exhale as you step back. Inhale as you bring the opposite leg up. Feet meets the sole of the palms. You want to activate that core, use those back to push up into that lunge stance. Remember to push your shoulders away from the ears. Right heel is pushing back towards the mat. Hips is nice and square. And here we are coming back down into that downward dog. Now, back into our child's pose. All right. Believe this is the ending of that prep as we inhale, rotate. Bring our palms up to give us a quick shoulder stretch because we are working those arms. Did I say we was working those arms?
And now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just inhaling,
bringing that arm up across the chest, rotating, looking up at the ceiling as well, allowing that body to just melt down. Coming back, and we're going to roll up that spine, bringing our arms up overhead, palms come touch. Exhaling, bringing the palms down to meet chest. Let's get started. So I do have some other background music playing in the back when I was recording this, and let's just say the playlist was definitely doing what it was supposed to do to keep me going for this session. So I encourage you all to find that point. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started now. So that we're going to meet in our downward dog because we are going to warm up. So this is what we call a salutation. So just give ourselves a nice warm up. Nice forward fold. Then coming down, right, to your toes. Chin coming into chest. You're going to inhale. You're going to slightly roll the spine to come up. And we're going to go in what we call a chair. As you exhaling, having a seat in that imaginary chair. Wow. This is definitely not what I was thinking in my head. So we're going to come down to a plank, right? To push up to a nice downward dog, shoulders pushed away from the ears. Want to curl the toes, push your hips up, back into that downward dog motion. So this is a modified downward dog. Happy you need that assistance, right? Other than that, you're going to step that foot up, coming up into a forward fold. Right, and this is when you start your chair. I was just a chair too early. Right, you want to have the palms facing one another. I know my arms are cut off. And as you inhale, step back plank. Right, exhaling, inhale, bring the body down to the mat. It's almost like you're doing a push-up. Push-up, nice upward dog, shoulders pushed away from the ears. Roll up the spine, curl the toes, hips come back up. Nice downward dog. And this is a motion that we're going to be doing for a moment. And this is a great way to get the body nice and warm. Remember to roll your spine as you come up to allow each vertebrae to reconnect. And when it's time to push off with the heels of your feet to find yourself trusting the ground beneath you. Now when you come down to do your push-up, imagine that you are pushing up a little and then coming down because you really want to work those arms. Exhale as you come up, downward dog, right? Inhale, walk up, nice forward fold, right? Chin coming into chest. Roll the spine as you exhale, releasing into that chair. Shoulders push back away from the ears. Come back plank. Right, come down, push up, upward dog, shoulders away from the ears, roll the spine, curl the toes, exhaling, downward dog. Do some pedals, right? Pedals. Come up, nice forward fold, round the spine, right? As you come up into that nice chair, taking your time. Right? Remember to push through the heels of the feet to come back, right? Forward fold, bring the palms in, right? And that completes the salutation portion. I hope you're feeling juicy because we are about to get started, and we are going to be starting in a plank position. What am I talking about? We are starting stretching. You see how much you see? Right? We're going to start coming into our plank, right? You can drop the knees of the toes, having you need so. Coming down to your forearm as well for that modification. And we're going to rotate coming on to our left side. And you want to have a nice straight side plank. Shoulders is aligning with the wrists. Core is engaged, hips is nice and squared. As you inhale, rotating your hips to come down to the mat. Bring your palms behind you, feet pressed against the mat. You're going to take an inhale, exhale, bring your hips up into a big bridge, right? Take your time, push your shoulders away from the ears. You're going to inhale, dip, and then we're going to rotate to the opposite side for that side plank. Exhaling as we release into the pose. Remembering to keep that core nice and engaged, right? Shoulder aligned with wrist, hips is nice and square and straight, blazing up towards that ceiling, getting that neck a stretch. We're going to inhale, right? Bringing the palms down, right? This is where we're going to come into a balance stance, our warrior 3. Bringing our foot up into a lunge to prep ourselves. Inhaling, you're going to shift the weight onto the heel of that standing leg. Remember to have a bend in that leg. Try not to lock it. Nice pointed toe. Looking up, the more you look up, you won't fall. You look down, you will fall. And we're going to go into an eagle after this. So that's basically inhaling, allowing yourself to wrap that left leg around that right leg, and of course you're having a seat in that imagination chair. Continuing to push the shoulders away from the ears. Core is engaged, core is working. To come out of your eagle, you're going to push through the heel of that right foot, bringing that left foot back into a lunge stance. Keeping those hips nice and square, allowing that left heel to be pushed back to the mat. Rotate, right? So you want to rotate to the side that your knee is bent, right? The knee that's bent is the side you shall rotate, right? Right, bring the palms down, because when we do to one side, we gotta do to the other. So we're going to complete that motion all over again, right? Remembering to take your time. Side plank. Nice activated core. Right? Remember that holding arm is your anchor arm to help you keep that upper body nice and strong. You want to step that foot back, swing the hips, to meet the center of the mat. As you exhaling, pressing the hips up to the ceiling for that big bridge. You want to activate those glutes, okay? Blaze up to that ceiling and keep those knees tight, baby, because we want to work them thighs. Okay, don't neglect the thighs, okay? And then we're going to inhale, bring it back so we can do the opposite side, exhaling as we come up into that plank. Take your time, and there is no rush. Exhale, right? You can drop the knee for support as well, in case it's too much, and then come back, big plank. Opposite leg. This time we got that lovely right leg is nice and pointed. Bring it up to meet so we can work our way into our balance, our warrior 3, right? Push off, push the weight onto the heel of that right foot to push up and allow that opposite leg to have a nice pointed toe, nice squared hips, shoulders pushed away from the ears. Take your time. Remember to put a slight bend in that standing leg. Try not to lock it. Same, wrapping that right around the left to have a seat and a nice eagle. Now, you have an option to stack arms here as well. You will stack left over right, and then twist them around like an S, right? Inhaling, coming back into that lunge. Remembering to keep those hips nice and squared, right? Breathing in, breathing out. Rotate, exhale as you rotate. Shoulders pushed away from the ears. Right? Palms spreading those fingertips. Give them a nice little stretch. Rotate, come up. Palms come down, back to the mat. And this is where a nice opportunity to find a flow, wherever that may be for you. Be a downward dog, child's pose, a light stretch. Maybe you want to grab some water, right? And then we're going to come on up and we're going to get started all over again. Hi! Because this is your moment to shine, right? This is your moment to shine. Let's rotate. Exhale. Nice side plank. Right? Shoulders push back. Hips square. Core is engaged. Taking your time. Right? We're going to inhale. Bringing that foot back. Right? Stacking hips to the mat. Palms behind you. As you inhale, exhale, thrust hips up to the ceiling. right? Glazing, looking up to the ceiling, pushing those shoulders away from the ears. Keep those knees tight now. Don't have loose knees, right? Inhale as you dip your hip down to the mat, right? As you rotate to the opposite side, inhale, exhaling, coming up into that side. Remember to take your time. Take your time. As you inhaling, right, is when you rotate back into that big plank. As you come into that downward dog, right foot, nice lunge. Core is engaged, pushing through the heel of that foot to help you with that activation of that thigh. Coming into that lunge as you inhaling, right? Bring, I think I got lost here. I think this is where I got a little stuck. Right? As you come on up into that nice warrior 3. Take your time. Have a slight bend in that leg. Don't lock it. Right? You can have your hands on your hips or you can have them out straight in front of you. Whatever you feel like is going to have your balance, given the balance, right? Our nice eagle, wrapping that leg around, exhaling, having a seat, shoulders pushed away from the ears, core is still engaged. You want to imagine that your hips is being pulled back. Right, here we go, nice lunge. Take your time. Inhales and exhaling. Right, you got it. There is no rush. When you feel ready, you're going to inhale, exhale, and then you're going to rotate. Rotating, bringing those shoulders away from the ears, right? Allowing yourself to sit in that lunge to get a deeper stretch, to get a deeper stretch. Come back full center, palms come down to the mat, and then here we are, right? Some nice pedals. And then we're going to come back to our motion because we got to do the opposite side. And as I always say, y'all, don't think about the pain. Think about the goal and the end result that you have for yourself. Okay? Here we go. Oh, this is also when I got stuck. I was like, what I'm thinking about, okay? We're going to come into that big bridge, baby, okay? Hips come up to that ceiling. Knees is coming in tight because right? Glutes is engaged. Palms are behind us. Shoulders pushed back, glazing up to that ceiling. Then we're going to inhale, bring those glutes down to our mats and rotate to our opposite plank. Remember to exhale on that release of your pose to give yourself the best full benefit of that stretch now, right? And remember to inhale as you rotate back into big plank so we can do our beautiful motion on our opposite side. This time what we have is our left leg, nice pointed toe, bringing that foot up to meet the palms of our hands. Come up lunge. Keep the core tight. Inhale, shift weight, exhaling into that nice warrior 3. Slight bend in the knees, shoulders push back. Take your time. Right? Hands on your hips. Right? Palms come touch. When you feel ready, you're going to come into the eagle. So here's where I just came to the front to kind of give you like a glimpse and kind of show you exactly how it will look from the front view. However, then you will come back into your eagle as you inhale, exhaling, coming back into that lunge position. Letting those hips just drop, right? Sinking in, giving the best stretch possible. Taking your time, rotating as you exhale, giving those sides, your lungs, clearing out the airway, all those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful motions. Inhale, come back center. Nice, and bring it in. Bring the palms down to the mat. Nice forward fold. You can stretch it out here. This is a moment that you can do a flow, break it down Do what feels good for you. I'm going to come back into a tabletop, into a child's pose. And I believe this is where I was getting hot. And I was like, I'm hot. Breathing in, breathing out, shoulders. And I literally asked someone to turn the air on, and everyone ignored me. So I had to get up and go do it myself. Be back. But keep stretching in that child's pose and that downward dog, right? Keep doing your lovely stretch that feels good for you at this moment, right? Take your time. Ooh, 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 ooh. And here we go. This is our last round, you all, which is the best part for most of us, right? And in our last round, this is when we put our best effort forward. We give ourselves the ability to challenge ourselves and make it count. Inhale, rotate side plank. Palms come up. Core is engaged. Inhaling and exhaling. Rotate glutes to the mat. Nice big bridge. Palms behind you. Feet in alignment. Hips come up. Nice exhale. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Shoulders push back from the ears. Oh yeah, you got it. Inhale, bring it down. Rotate opposite side for that side plank. Palms come up. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Core is engaged. Right? Inhale, bring it in. Inhale, we got our balance coming up. So we're going to start off with raising up that left leg, nice pointed toe, coming into that lunge, pushing up, using that back muscles and core. Sink those hips. Whew, look at the warrior 3. I'm pretty sure that you came up really nicely, right? You can bring the palms out if you like, right? Remember, imagine that that leg is being pulled to shift that weight back to the heels. Here we go. Then you want to come up into your eagle, wrapping that left leg around that right leg, keeping that core intact, chest up high, shoulders away from the ears, right? Taking your time. Exhaling, releasing into that lunge. Hips sinking in, shoulders pushed away from the ears, palms facing another, and then, of course, our lovely rotation. Ooh, y'all, I tell you, we're almost there. Come back center. Palms come down, and let's get straight into working out that opposite side to knock it out, to get it complete, to get it done, right? Keeping that core working, shoulders working, arms working, breath working, right? Getting your strength working, getting everything working. Breathing in, breathing out. Come down for big bridge. Inhale, exhale, hips come up to the ceiling. Beautiful. You got it. Y'all, at this moment, I am giving heat, okay? All right, let's inhale, come down, rotate opposite side. It is giving heat, honey, okay? It is giving heat, but you know what? You're there. As you inhale, right, you're going to rotate into big plank to go ahead and knock out that opposite leg. This time that right leg is coming up nice and pointed. Bring it in. Palms meet. Coming up into lunge to work ourselves into our nice warrior 3. Remember, try not to lock that leg now. Keep it nice. Keep a nice little bend to it. Remember to look up. You got it. Nice squared hips. Almost there. We're going to go into our eagle now, wrapping that leg around. Sitting in that imagination chair. Chest up high, shoulders pushed away from the ears. Breathing in, breathing out. Push through the heels to come back into that lunge. Shoulders away from the ears, palms facing one another. Right? Inhale, exhale, rotate. Bring the palms out to the side. Let's spread those fingertips too. Whew. Okay, because it's real. Bring the palms down to the mat. You all, woo! And that completes that session. Okay, we're going to come into a nice child's pose to give ourselves a nice cool down so we can do our end of our stretch. Yep, so we're going to come to get down and do some great stretching. I'm just rolling out the wrists because we worked our wrists, we worked our wrists. Okay, we're going to come to our backs and we're just going to basically S our legs, stacking them, and basically pulling them in, right? So just want to bring your leg up, give it a good stretch, nice flex foot, then bringing that right to wrap over to the left, trying to bring it down to the floor on the opposite side. Still pushing those shoulders against the mat, right? As you inhale, bring the leg up, and you're going to switch sides, right? Nice flex foot, give those hamstrings and all that good stuff a nice stretch, bringing it over, right? Pushing those hips to the mat, right? Taking your time because you deserve it. You worked so hard, right? Let's turn to our side. We're going to stretch out these quads. Here's what I like to remind people that the goal to stretch out these quads is you have to push those hips up anterior. You got to push those hips up to the front, and while you're pushing those heels back to the glutes to get the best benefit, because it's not just stretching the quads, it's stretching that whole front hip, and it's going to feel really good. Help with the back as well, right? And then we're just going to go ahead and switch to the opposite side and do the same thing. So when we're done with this stretching, is what we're going to come into what we call a savanasya. Is where you lay back on your back, right, and just have a moment of stillness. You can place one palm on your chest or one on your belly. Yeah, bring your feet to touch, push your shoulders away, bring the palms up, raise it up to the ceiling, let the knees fall to the sides, right, palms come down. So here I am pushing the mat. I have both of my palms on the mat and I'm pushing my shoulders away from my ears to get that full activation happening, right? You can rotate, you can do some yeses, some no's, right? Just for just a couple reps. Don't start slacking on the stretch because you're tired now. Even make the stretch. Make the stress stretch. Hey, got it, right? And this is that beautiful Vanasya that I was referring to, right? So let's just have a moment of quiet together. Just nice inhales and exhales. Rewarding yourself, right? Come to your side. Feel ready. Give yourself a hug. Take your time getting there. There's no rush. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you all next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that alert button. And I'll see y'all all next time. That's it. Bye.